All right, today we're coming to you with another episode of Auto Glass Tech Talk, and we taking it out to OKC, Oklahoma City. We got Shannon on with us. You know him. You've seen him in the group. You've seen him on Auto Glass Nation, and you just seen him probably around at Windshield Auto Glass events. So, Shannon, the floor is yours. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, man.
Well, first of all, good morning, guys. Good to see everybody. Yeah. So, Shannon Penn. I own Penn Auto Glass, Oklahoma City. I've been in the business since '94. I started my business in 2010, and just been rocking and rolling here in Oklahoma City the whole time. And it's just like anywhere else. We have our challenges here in Oklahoma City when it comes to business and auto glass and things like that. But just kicked it off I actually dropped out of college to get an auto glass. So,
okay.
I had a kid on the way, and it was all about making some money. And, I started doing it. I learned how to cut glass, and that was the first thing I did in the glass. I worked for a full service shop.
Okay.
And, I took to it real quick. I mean, I really enjoyed it. And then, so I'm in it a year or two, and I was like, man, I don't mind getting up every day and coming to work. Right. I like this stuff, So I embraced it and, worked for a company for about 15 years. And I went as far as I could go. The only place I could go at that point would be back down on their ladder. Mm-hmm. And it was a family run operation. And that's what really pushed me over the edge, because I started to take steps back down that ladder because other family members were coming in. And I jumped out on my own. And they say timing's everything when you do stuff like this. I think luck. I had a huge amount of luck when I did it. So when I started my business, I'd been working on it for about a year, getting everything in place, business account set up, kind of doing moonlighting, doing my stuff on the side. Then a big hailstorm hit Oklahoma City in 2010 and hit the south part of Oklahoma City. And so I had guys calling me going, hey man, can you work after hours? Just kicking me jobs, getting stuff done. So I was like, yeah, I'm doing that after hours and on weekends. And then that went on. It was for about a week or so. And then, so I'm just sitting here like, man, I'm missing out. I could be making a lot more money. And there was some friction between me and the person that took over for the guy I was working for. And so I quit, and I had a little bit of money in the bank. And I'm not even going to lie about it. I had about $1,000 in my business account and 3 jobs lined up. And I jumped out on my own. I had a pickup. I'm sitting here asking my girlfriend at the time, hey, man, I might need you to help out with the mortgage, because she was living there rent free basically. But anyway, I quit on a Friday, and the biggest hailstorm to ever hit Oklahoma City hit the north side of Oklahoma City on Sunday. And so it's Sunday. My windows are broken my house, broken my car. I'm walking. I get out and I just drive around. I was like, holy crap, I've never seen anything like this. Monday morning comes along, and man, I tell you what, I didn't realize how many people had my cell phone number. My cell phone number got passed around so fast. I had a news company calling me by 10 o'clock that day, wanting to come out and follow me around and, do my thing. And I'm just like, eyes wide open, just like shitting bricks. I'm like, okay, this is real. I need to, jump in here. So from the Friday I quit, I had a weekend off. I got up, went to work, and I've never looked back.
Yeah.
My biggest problem was for 4 months straight after that happened. My biggest problem was, hey, what's normal going to look like for me? Because this isn't normal. Right. But you talk about that just immediate injection of cash into somebody's account to where within a month I was, I had cars parked in front of my house within a month I'm in a industrial park renting a space. I did that for a little over a year. And then after that, I'm in the place where in 2011, I moved to the shop I'm in now. But the crazy thing about it is I always go back and I think about the customer service and how you treat people and your work. Everybody says your work is your signature, sign it legibly. Well, the cool thing about that is I treated people right the whole time I was with this other company.
Right.
And I did great work. And I didn't realize how many people were still doing business with that company because I was there. And so the natural progression there was once they figured out I was no longer there, they started calling me. So, I mean, all of a sudden my accounts are just sitting here stacking up. Next thing you know, I'm hiring employees, I've got CSR. Next thing you know, it's just like, we're full-fledged running, got a great thing going. I was able to stay out of debt. Didn't have to take out a business loan and, didn't make, I was making good money, but I was spending a lot of it back into the business. I'm in 10 years now and it's probably taken me about 7 to really get to the point where I can the money is really, I'm starting to get that cushion for me and not have to worry about holding onto every nickel and dime for my business, right. So it's been a journey, but I feel like I've been pretty blessed as far as the way the circumstances, everything played out. So that's kind of my story of how I got started, back in 94 to where I am now.
We appreciate that, man. That's a good ass story. Very motivational to hear, the belief in yourself and putting in that work and, like you say, signing your work, man. So sign it legibly.
And I want to go back and touch on customer service a little bit, man. So, there's advantages and disadvantages to having a shop. You can go one way or the other. The mobile model works, the shop model works. They're both proven. So I think one of the benefits of having a shop is sometimes you get that walk up customer service, customers just walk in and, that's good, and we have that. And going back to customer service, this was pretty cool. So I had a gentleman just come in my shop. It was back in April, and he bought a Lexus, and he bought it used, and the windshield had been replaced. He was having problems with the rain sensor, so he just kind of popped in and goes, "Hey man, will you take a look at my rain sensor? It's not working." So of course I jump in there. Everybody knows it's just you can unclip it and it comes down. Well, I unclip it and I don't know what the hell. They had blue shit all over it. I don't know what was going on with it. So I was like, "Hey man, you need a new rain sensor." And cause the pad wasn't even there. And he's like, "Well, hey, I'm going to go get an oil change and I'll get one from Lexus." I said, "Okay, yeah, that's where I would get it." So he's like, "I said, bring it back and I will, I'll snap it on your windshield for you." And he's like, "Okay, yeah, no problem." He goes, "What do I owe you?" I said, "Man, you don't owe me anything. I'm not going to gig you for 5 minutes of time, And he was like, "Cool." Well, he leaves. Didn't even get his name. Guy comes back and he has his rain sensor. Well, anyway, so do you remember me? I was like, "Yeah, I vaguely remember you." And he's like, "Well, I got that rain sensor." I'm like, "Cool." So I snap it on for him. I go and water test it. Only swipe once. So I was like, "Man, let's pull it in." I put a scan tool on it to see if I could reinitialize it or whatever. Couldn't do it. What was wrong with it? It was making bad contact. So if you guys get a Lexus that the rain sensor is not working, it's not making complete contact. The fix was I taped it off, took a little 901 and built up that pad, stuck it back up there, and it worked perfect. Anyway, did that. Guys, I spent maybe a total 10, maybe 15 minutes on it. I said, he goes, "How much do I owe you?" I said, "Man, don't worry about it. If you need a windshield, come back and see me." I just won that customer over. When the guy was leaving, he goes, "Man, I've been in here twice." He says, "And you haven't charged me." He goes, "I'm a radio exec. I'm going to put you some ads on the radio." This guy made me a 30-second radio ad, put it on like 3 stations and ran it for a month every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Just because You know, some of that comes back. That's very rare, but it goes back to the customer service part of it. Man, when you have a customer come in and they know you're genuine, and you're like, hey man, I'm not gonna nickel and dime you, and you treat them right, man, it's gonna come back for you, and to you and your company. And I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer, and I appreciate every one of my customers, because as we all know, there's a ton of different places they can go.
Right.
And when they're there spending money with you and your company, man, that is, you know, to me, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Now, some of them are turds, but hey, you know, I'm a turd sometimes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I think, I guess I want to tie this into, like, I feel like a lot of my success in my business has been be fair and honest, and within reason. You just treat your customers right, you know.
Yep.
So, and that's been my model, and it seems to have worked for us.
I think I think with your storefront shop, I mean, you have a good location for the walk-in. You know, you got that old school vibe. And I've been in Shannon's shop, and his shop is like a 1930s service station. It's really cool. Scary pulling a car in there because it's a little narrow and tight, but it's a good location, and it's a really cool shop. So, I mean, it's not so much as having a shop; it's having a shop in the right spot to get those, you know, those street traffic, you know. So, but you have a good shop. I like your shop. I've been to quite a few shops, and yours is very impressive. So,
yeah,
big thumbs up on that, Mr. Penn.
Yeah. So the funny thing about that shop was, like I said, when I first started, I was in that hailstorm, and everything kicked off. At that time, I was doing commercial, residential, and auto. I was doing all the, like, whatever I could do to make money. And so, man, I had little bands with racks on the side of them. Like, my neighbors were pissed at me, you know. But then, I think 3 months into it, I'd rented that space. Well, the space is not too far from where I am now, but it was in an industrial park, and it was 3 buildings deep. I was in the very last building, and man, all weekends, man, they would go up there. The thieves would go up there and set up shop, and they'd break in everybody. You know, it wasn't just a matter of if, it was just when. And they broke in my shop, wiped my office out, and it was to the point where I was like, hey, man, I'm just going to load everything back up. I'm going to go work out of my house. I'm not going to pay to be ripped off every other month, you know. Right. So, and there was a tattoo shop down the street that a guy I know, and another buddy of mine calls me and goes, hey, man, it used to be a vehicle wrap place. The guy would do graphics. And this dude got tweaked out, man. And he was like, man, he was being evicted. And I found, you know, and my buddy Mark calls me and said, Shannon, there's this shop on Britton Road. And man, because I'd been looking, he knew I'd been looking. So I get online, and Craigslist, and sure enough, there it was, man. And I called the guy up, and I was like, man, I'll meet you there right now. So my landlord, we meet there, and the guy's in there. The water's shut off. His electricity's about to be shut off. He wouldn't let us see the bathroom because he'd been using a toilet with no water, the nasty son of a bitch.
Oh.
But anyway, anyway, so basically, I mean, right there in front of the guy, I was like, yeah, I'll take it, and I need you out of here by September 1st, because that's when I'm moving. Right. And the guy was sitting here like this, and the guy was, you know, I was like, how many months do you want in advance? Because I was, you know, it was nerve-wracking to me, because at that point, I didn't have a CSR. And my biggest fear, one of my biggest fears in business was starting out was hiring an employee. Right. And it wasn't so much of, you know, taking somebody. It was more of, hey, man, am I going to be able to keep this guy fed? You know, am I going to keep him working? Am I going to get him at least 40 hours? You know, right. That's always been my biggest. And I was always nervous, man. I'd go home with butterflies in my stomach thinking about that stuff. And then, so because I was like, okay, with a storefront, I'm out working. I got to hire a CSR. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, that's when, with that storefront came a lot of added extra cost, as far as you got to have somebody there at all times, right. Things like that. But yeah, that little storefront I'm in is, it's pretty cool. It's not big enough. recalibration came along, and that's why I'm in this shop here. Jeff, you've been in this shop as
Been
well.
in that shop also?
Yeah. And Subaru forced me to spend some more money a month to be able to do recalibration because my little shop's it's just not big enough.
Yeah, no, it's not really. The bays aren't deep enough, and then you got that ambient light coming from outside, and I mean, it's a cool shop though. I mean, I got to give it to you. One of the cooler shops, that's for sure.
Well, I'm hoping he sells it to me one of these days.
Hey, my landlord. You said about employees. I got a question for you, and not very many people know that Bill Stonekeen's son works for you.
Yeah.
So how's the pressure of having a second generation glass guy who's got probably a little bit of that I know it, don't tell me attitude, I'm sure a little bit somewhere, and being his dad, so his dad's an OG at it. So is there any kind of like extra pressure that you feel having that type of employee?
No, because I mean we're straight, man. We're pretty tight there, I mean we are. When I say that, we're probably like any shop. We have our hiccups, and I have my hiccups. Everybody has their hiccups, but I mean, we've got a foundation, and our foundation's pretty strong. So I don't really. I mean, if anything, I would say Bill better look out, man. I got the young guns, man. One of these days they're going to take over. So,
I don't think Bill would mind too much, honestly. I think Bill's very content in his peaceful life.
Yeah, no. So Kyle's his son, and Kyle is an excellent glass guy. He really is. He's still learning. I think we all learn a little bit every day with all the new technologies, new designs, and things like that. But man, the kid jumps in there, and he jumps in there, and he knows what he's doing. And he's the only one of my techs that actually showed interest in recalibration. And so he's actually like, if I'm not doing it, I have him doing it. He took to that like, it was like he's playing with his phone, So he's been a really, really nice addition to the shop, And actually, my son works with me, and that's a little bit different dynamic. But we've handled it. We've had our ups and downs with that, just as you can imagine, any family member. But he's actually a pretty good glass guy as well. Yeah. He actually does the majority of the, like, he probably runs mobile more than anybody else, as far as body shop.
Your son's a big boy too. You wouldn't want to piss him off. So.
Yeah. Man, he's a quiet kid, man. He's always been that way. He's I don't think he's got a violent bone in his body unless he's talking to his dad when he's pissed off. No, but no, he's a pretty big guy, but I'm pretty impressed with him. The way he's turned out as well, but as far as his skill level, and so these guys they're both young, and I'm just sitting here looking at them going, and these guys are the future of auto glass, and they're doing it right. And then I also think about all these young guys, man, and from where Jeff and Chris and Corey, even you, I mean, I don't know how much windshield replacement you have. I know you've done more rock chips and windshield repairs than we can even think about, but going back now, I mean, these guys, it's almost like, a long knife. Some of these guys I don't even think they own one.
No.
I mean, I was smashing conduit and putting razor blades in, you know what I mean? Cutting in the corner. Yeah, so these guys, they're not, they don't have that. They're using scrapers, they're using string tools, they're using the Pro Set. They're not different the elbow and shoulder problems that we have. You know what I mean? So their longevity, will probably be longer than ours possibly. Hope not. Hope they don't have to work till they're old and gray. But
it's like a totally different type of tech now. Just from all the older tools used versus what they do now. Yeah, totally. It's totally different.
It's way more. It's way more finesse now. Way more finesse and not so much brutality. Because
let me ask you this, guys.
In the '90s, we're animals.
Well, yeah.
Rip and grip.
I mean, y'all remember that serrated banana knife blade?
Yeah.
Okay, some of them had the handles. I worked with a guy that was actually taking those because they were replaceable. You could buy it for a replaceable handle or something. And it was just a nice serrated knife blade on an angle. And man, this cat before that Equalizer Express knife, years before it, he was cutting that and making it, putting it in a Sawzall and using it to cut like the old Taurus windshields out and like the old Saturns that wrapped around. He would use that thing with a Sawzall, and then probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years into it, all of a sudden, here comes Equalizer with their Express knife, their 360. And I was just sitting here going, man.
We were smashing putty knife blades into conduit to make rammer jammers back in the '90s for the old Buick LeSabres, the 1105s and the 1060s, those corners. Those things were gross, man.
Yeah, I hate it. I can't remember, what was it, the Buick. It was the one where they had the 2 chrome strips that you had.
The 1067. Oh.
That's it. Yeah, I hated those things, man.
Passion. God, I'm so glad we don't have to deal with that shit anymore.
Well, I'm just gonna, with the advancements in wire tools are just a new spin on an old technology people were using. Hey, man, I used to cut windshields out with piano wire. We've all heard that.
Yep.
But I mean, the advancements of that, you've got, the Pro Set, I guess you could say the
urethane. The urethane's made improved. You can have the steadiest hand in the world, but if you're shooting some fucking mushy water, it ain't gonna do anything. So the advancements in urethanes have a lot to do with it, also.
Yes. Yeah. But my shoulder and elbow pain is non-existent right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can go a week with pulling a pull knife, and I will feel it by the weekend.
Yeah. And
so now it's just like, man, I can move my shoulder. Mm-hmm. Nothing's popping. And,
Yeah.
So, I really like where everything has been and went, and it's pretty cool that, it's guys like Christian and, who's the cat up there for WRD, and even the little buddy guy. Yeah. And even the, Kent Mayhew, or I don't know his name, but Kent from Little Buddy. These guys, in some ways they're making our lives easier and our health easier, better for, with these advancements in tools. And, the cool thing, the crazy thing about it is, man, is like, what I'm fascinated with is you take a guy like Christian and he's sitting here doing auto glass. How the fuck does he come up with the Pro Set? What's going on in his head to be like, man, let me just do this, draw it out, and then all of a sudden he's made the best freaking auto glass setting tool on the market.
Well, there you go, Christian Foss. We want to get you on, Christian, and you answer that question for us, man. So hey, that's a show idea. Hopefully we can get Foss on to drop some knowledge on how that happened.
Yeah, that fascinates me, man. To I don't care if it's a big tool, little tool. We all have ideas. Most of my ideas are probably an improvement of a tool, because you're like, if this thing did this, it'd work a lot better. But as far as maybe I'm not wired that way, but as far as, because if you think about it, I'm sitting here going, what is going on through?
I've had and Drift. He's been there. We've had those war room conversations with Foss, coming up with ideas and stuff. And it's like, there's times where Chris and I are standing back. We look at each other like, I can't even keep up with the brain. It's like
just rolling through, just rolling.
Yeah, it's just, it's crazy. It's like, you watch these documentaries of like Defiant ones with Dre and Eminem, and you see them in the studio just boom, 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 throwing ideas here and there. And that's the same thing with Christian. He's just like boom here and this and this and that. And I don't get it. Like, my brain don't work that way.
I'm right there with you, man. But I'm always that I would love to watch that. I'd love to. I'd pick his brain, just listen to the man, just kind of go through an idea or something, you know.
Cool.
I find that fascinating.
All right, cool. I got a question for all three of y'all, right? So this comes up a lot from technicians throughout the year, but just recently this shit came up to me 3 times, right? 3 times in a 2-week period. These are repair only guys. They're looking to get into replacements and try to make that transition, right? So question is, what kind of advice would you give them, or what direction will you point them in? What should they look into in making that jump from repair only to going to repair and replacement? And we'll start with you, Drift. If you got a suggestion, advice, or anything that you could give a repair only guy, what would it be?
Repair only guy. I mean, you're already running the business. You're already mobile. You know, you already got clientele. Just, man, go to the junkyard and practice doing a couple, pulls.
Mm-hmm.
Get with someone local and do some training to, if someone local, or go further and just do some practice on the installs. I mean, everything else should be natural, as far as the business goes, but it's just getting that experience, really.
Okay. That's good, solid advice. What about, you got any YouTube videos of pulling a windshield? If not, that's a YouTube idea, man, for somebody, because they ask. So
maybe not with any hand tools, but there's definitely some wire tool ones.
Hey, I would just want to mention, you might want to start a Patreon on that.
Welcome, guys, I got a Patreon.
Yeah, start a Patreon, man. Get paid to watch those videos.
Yeah.
No.
What about you, Jeff? You got any advice, or what would be the first place you lead them, or direction you give them?
I mean, pretty much kind of like he's going what Chris said. I mean, they're already running a business. So I always tell young guys, that are glass guys who want to become business owners, learn how to be a business owner before, so he already knows how to run a business. Reach out. There might be somebody locally that they could shadow and check out. I mean, every area is different, even here, I know guys who someone came up and asked them that, they tell them to fuck off. Right. The guys will put the arm around them and say, hey, let's go check it out. So, find out your area too,
right.
Because what works in Oklahoma may not work in Cali, may not work for me. So it's all about where you're at too.
Yeah.
That's a big variable in it.
Yeah. That's what's up. Well, that transitions to you, Shannon, because this just happened with me and Shannon. So a guy reached out to me, was looking for repair to replacement. I turned him on to Shannon. Shannon helped him out. So what happened with it? What advice have you given him so far, Shannon?
So advice, I haven't really given him any business advice. I mean, I've kind of told him about, the importance of having an account with every distributor. Sometimes, when it comes to insurance work, you got to really watch those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So I've kind of talked to him a little bit about that, but for the most part, he owes you lunch. I'll tell you that. And if he wouldn't have dropped your name, I probably would have said, man, no, I don't have time for that. But, so man, I had a gentleman come in and, windshield, repair only, and he wants to get into it, and he dropped Corey's name. Corey actually referred him to me, and I was like, yeah, man, you can come hang out and watch how we do stuff. Watch see the tools we're using. We've actually got him in a car, started getting him on a string tool, and getting his hands, feet wet, getting him, try to get him comfortable. I mean, I haven't let him run urethane yet. I mean, I don't know how long he plans on hanging out. I'm kind of a stickler on that when it comes to urethane. But I would say, get with a reputable guy. I mean, who the guys that, if you're in the Auto Glass Tech groups or Tech Talk, Auto Glass Nation, man, you see the guys that are out there using the good tools, see what those guys are using. And then you're going to have to invest, because you don't want to jump out there without those tools, especially being new to it, because these tools, the WRD, the Mongoose, even GT Final Cut, those tools are going to help you not screw things up.
Right.
Used correctly. You're not gonna be painting people's cars, all that stuff. But then at the same time, you can go to a junkyard and get the pull, but you're not going to get the experience of setting. That's where you really need the pro stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that's going to give you there's a lot of setting tools out there, but to be able to put one side in glue, put a piece of tape on it if you need to hold it in place, and then walk around and hands free to the other side and set the other side in while you're by yourself. That's really an amazing feat for a tool, but that's going to help you out, because not only when you start out, you're going to have problems, you know, you're going to have leaks, you know. So if you could, you know, if you're in it, if you are trying to transition, and you could kind of get a mentor, or just, you know, not be afraid to ask questions, you know that if you're going to ask a question online, you're going to get beat down a little bit, but in that beat down, you're going to get what you need to know.
Right.
So don't be afraid to ask questions, no matter how dumb or silly somebody might think it is. But I would just, you know, Corey had the great idea of sending the guy to me and, you know, letting him shadow. So, you know, I would, if a person's wanting to make that transition and they can find that person that will let them do that, then that's, to me, that's probably going to be the most effective way to do it. There is some literature out there that you can read. I mean, it's not going to help you with, you know, actual hands-on technique, but it'll make you'll sound like you know what you're doing.
Yeah, read a bunch of shit that's
But some of that information is good to know anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and that's the other thing I told him is, you know, figure out which urethane system you want to use and become an expert on that. You know, because that's another element of it. You don't want to jump out there, and not only are you're sketchy at best at you know, because you know, you want to know that urethane system, make sure you're doing your bonding right, because it's going to be a while, like with any technician, and we can see this play out through, you know, just on social media. There's a lot of guys out there, technicians, that lack confidence, be it new. You know what I mean? Confidence is a big thing when it comes to this. And you know, I'm a pretty good judge with my guys on what they're capable of. And I had a guy that, man, I was going to send him mobile. He was scared to death, but I watched him do the job 100 times in shop. But once I said, okay, I'm going to send you out on by yourself, he looked like a deer in the headlights. He got through it. And he's like, oh man, that wasn't that bad. I'm like, right, I'm not going to send you out the customer's car up. So gaining some confidence, and you know, when you're transitioning over, you're going to have to gain confidence, and gaining confidence is going to be what's going to help you with that is that initial investment into the wire tool. It's going to be your tool, because that's going to reinforce the confidence in your ability. So cool. I would say the main thing would be for me is, you know, being able to watch and learn, get your hands dirty, but then actually taking and investing in the right tools. You have to have the right tools. And for the job.
It's one thing just to watch them, but to physically use them yourself after seeing someone watch them is a whole nother thing of like, I get it.
So my favorite thing is, like, you see this little scrawny dude just like cutting a windshield out with a pull knife like it's butter. And then you take a guy that's never done it and grab, I mean, he might be as strong, and he's sitting here struggling trying to. How many times have we seen that?
All time.
I've had
dude's bigger than me.
I've had customers like, man, will you let me try that? And I'm like, well, if you scratch anything, it's on you. Oh no, that's fine. And he wanted to try to, so I'd let him. Man, how do you do that? And I'm like, it's just all technique. But so I mean, getting that experience is crucial.
Cool. Appreciate all the advice from all three of y'all, man. That's really helpful for people, and just in general from the stuff y'all say, like gaining the knowledge, whether you're reading it, whether you're watching videos or shadowing someone, but building your confidence up. You know, you got to have confidence with whatever you're doing in life, because if you don't have the right confidence, man, that's a recipe for a disaster. So, hey, it is real good info and good insight from all three of y'all. So appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Cool.
So, Shannon, what you grilling, man?
So, man, one of the last things I grilled was I did a pastrami.
Okay.
And it was funny. I was pretty proud of myself. And then I had a guy, John, I posted some pictures of it. I brined it for like 7.5, 8 days.
Yeah.
And apparently I didn't leave it in the brine long enough. So I have a guy on my Facebook he's from Oklahoma City, finished like second or third in America's Next Top Chef.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
One time, and he jumps on there. He goes, "Hey, man, you see that dark line right there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, you didn't brine your stuff long enough." He goes, "But it looks good." I was like, "Oh, man." But no, it turned out pretty good.
Okay.
I think so that was the last thing I did. We always throw some ribs on or something for through the week. But the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a pork belly, man.
Pork belly, okay.
I'm going to do another pork belly. And, man, I like, cutting it up into like 1-inch cubes, seasoning it up, throwing on the smoker or the pellet grill, and cook it up, and then kind of build up a crust, and then cover it up. It's like candy, man.
Okay.
What, do you glaze it with anything, or what do you?
Man, so not really. I just kind of glaze it with when I uncover it, I'll thicken it up with some like barbecue sauce, some of the juices up with the barbecue sauce, and use that as my glaze.
Okay.
Shannon put me on to a recipe that was so out of the box that was mind-boggling but delicious, in smoking Jimmy Dean's breakfast sausage.
I love those.
Okay.
Oh man, I like
the little roll.
Shannon is the host with the most, because on my way back from Autog last week and I was driving cross country, he was so kind to open up his house to Cynthia and I and actually let us bunk with them one night in the spare bedroom. But he put out a spread that was legendary. I mean, I thought I was at a barbecue restaurant, the way he had it served on trays and everything. But oh man,
yeah,
Shannon outdoes himself as a host. That is for damn sure.
Well, and that would stand for any of you guys, man. If y'all are coming through, it's hospitality, man. I learned that a long time. I was traveling, and me and some buddies went to Europe, and we were going to go rent we were going to rent an apartment for a week. And the lady that owned the apartment owned a restaurant. So you had to go in this restaurant, and, we just got off the plane, taxi, all that stuff. We got our bags. So I'm thinking, I'm going to go in here, pay her, go to the room. So we go in there, and we sit down in this restaurant, and the lady comes up. She would not talk to us about renting the room until after she fed us.
Right.
She was like, y'all just, so we sat down and ate. After we ate, and then we talked business. So I was like, okay, that's some pretty good. I kind of learned a lot from that. So,
yeah,
I was like, this was a complete stranger that treated me like that, which I thought was amazing.
Right.
So I have guests. Chris comes through, Corey comes through. Man, I'm taking care of you guys, man.
Yeah.
That's just all there is. We're gonna show you some good hospitality, feed you, in that way. When you leave, you don't have anything bad to say.
That's right.
Now, one thing.
We appreciate that offer, brother, and we appreciate all y'all for your time and for the interview.
On the flat top.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, what you been cooking on the flat top?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, man, nothing the last week or so.
Okay.
But tonight I'm busting out some corn again. I've been really craving some corn, the Mexican street corn. Woo!
Yeah.
I got that shit down. I got like 3 different types of mayonnaise too. You got like the real crema. You got the real I got the lime mayo.
Okay.
I haven't tried that one yet. Then you got to get the real cotija cheese.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I missed that channel Cooking with Chris, man. I don't know where it went.
Yeah.
Oh, give me like after this weekend, it's gonna be on. It's on.
I know Chris has got a special surprise up his sleeve, I'm sure.
Yeah. We gotta. I'll let it out. We got a new place. We got a new house.
That's what's
We've
up.
been living in 700. Thank you. We've been living in 766 square feet of California for ridiculous amounts of money, and now we got a 2,300 square foot house. So we just kind of like, work our way up, and dude, we got a ballin' ass.
Doubled your square footage, man.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said you like tripled your square footage.
Oh yeah. I told my wife, I said you could be in this house and put a whole extra 1,600 square foot house and be like totally fine.
Yeah.
That's what's up. What about you, Jeff? You cooking anything, Jeff?
Jeff, what do you cook? What are you cooking?
I'm still kind of fighting with this juice thing, so I haven't really been cooking.
That's right.
Yeah, and I will give full disclosure. I have been eating, but I've been eating like I gave up beef, I gave up dairy, I gave up bread. I've been eating like just seafood and chicken, and I've been juicing most of the day. I only have like one meal a day, drinking about 100 ounces of juice a day, but I am feeling better. I definitely noticed some changes in my health. So you
would recommend the juicing so far?
I recommend it. I mean, I don't. There's that fat, bloated, and nearly dead or something like that video on YouTube or Netflix, and we watched that, and that guy's a bit extreme. Right. There's always the super extreme where he's juicing every single day forever and ever. I don't say that. I mean, but if you're not feeling too well, do a 2-week cleanse. And one tip that we didn't really realize when we first did it is Cynthia was just like, let's throw everything in there. And she would just like throw all these random ass vegetables in there and stems and skins and just everything. Just Jack LaLanne times 100. And we're drinking it and it's like, this is going to be tough. But we like talk to each other and we're like, why don't we get recipes? Yeah. You make dinner, you just don't throw the whole fucking kitchen in the pot and say, oh, it tastes good. You add certain stuff. So we figured out, just using the leaves of the kale and collard greens and not the stems. And, some peels are good and some aren't, and some stuff works with some stuff. And, don't use too much beet because you're eating a mud pie. But I highly, highly recommend it. I mean, yeah. Without getting too in depth with personal shit, but I highly recommend it.
Cool. Well, we appreciate all y'all for the advice, the knowledge, and all that shit. Even the food ideas and drift. We waiting on the photos so when you do make a meal next go around. And appreciate everybody. And before we let everybody get out of here, one last question for all three of y'all, and we'll start with you, Shannon. You got anything interesting happening the rest of the week or for the weekend? You got any plans?
Man, I don't. Probably the high spot of my weekend is I bought a rent house, so I may go do a little work on that. Okay. But for the most part, the high spot of my weekend would probably be just hanging out with the fam and probably just cooking something, man.
That's what's up.
This COVID stuff kind of got a downer on everything, but,
Yeah. That's what's up.
Just do a little cooking, maybe try not to work too hard.
Cool. What about you, Jeff? What you got going on rest of the week or for the weekend?
Well, in a couple weeks, we're having a little meetup here in Arizona. Some people coming out. So actually, when we're done filming this, I'm actually doing a little recon trip, a couple hours up north, go check out a shop, film a video. But yeah, nothing really too exciting. I do want to give a shout out to Curbo Covers, and Jennifer, with their shirt, and then I have to say, you guys been seeing me sipping on this cup. Okay. And, I got to give it to Big Tim Crow around there in Georgia. He sent this as a gift, so appreciate that, Timothy.
Cool.
My little brother.
Yeah. What about you, Drift? You got any plans for the rest of the week or for the weekend?
Man, my weekend is consistent of moving. I got to buy a washer and dryer. First time I had to buy a washer and dryer. So,
That's what's up. Hey,
adulting, Chris, adulting 101.
What? Yeah.
Follow me for more adulting tips.
Yeah, moving can be fun. I used to move around a lot. I moved from like Oregon to Boston to San Diego to Illinois. So moving can be fun, man. So I always enjoy moving.
We're only we moved right down the street, so we're 5 minutes from where we're at now. So this will probably be the easiest, funnest move I've ever done.
Yeah. Well, that's what's up. Yeah, for me, I don't have nothing going on for the weekend. Shit, I've been watching baseball and watching basketball, so actually happy to get some sports, even though it's scrimmages and shit. But hey,
you've been watching that James Harden clinic you've been putting on.
Yeah, basketball actually been looking good, man. I've been watching that, so just something to have something on TV, and because I was on this whole big thing, and it made me think of you, Shannon. We're coming up on talking about Oklahoma. I had been watching Snap Couples. They got this other show called Accident, Suicide, or Murder, right? And like half the shit are people from Oklahoma. Like two episodes were from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. I was like, damn, Oklahoma got a lot of shit happening out here.
Where's that show on? What channel's that on?
It's on Oxygen. I've been watching Oxygen and Lifetime with Snap.
Oh, man, Rob has been rubbing off on you.
Yeah, basically.
So Oklahoma, man. I mean, like, so Broken Arrow's up. Like, it's going to be up by Tulsa. And dude, you watch the first 48, man. That's like they're
Tulsa.
there.
Yeah, in Tulsa. Yeah,
I've been through Tulsa. Tulsa, that's a super ghetto, man. We stopped at a QT in Tulsa to meet up with Derek Churchyard right before we got to your house, and we stopped at QT and we both got out. And I said, Cynthia, you go inside. I'll stay with the truck. It's all right. I mean, it was super ghetto over there. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but I never knew much about Oklahoma, and I'm watching. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it's like it was like 3 out of 7 shows. Like shit was happening in Oklahoma. I'm like, damn, like this is interesting, but
we definitely have our moments.
Yeah. Well, that's what's up, man. We appreciate all y'all for your time and for the knowledge, insight, and all that shit, and just catching up, man. So appreciate y'all, and good luck with the rest of the week.
Right on.
Hey, man, guys, thanks for having me, man. It was good talking to you guys, man.
All right, no problem, brother.
Oh, shit, it fell. Hold on. I gotta flash this.
All right. There we go. Make auto glass great again. Well, that's what's up, man. Y'all take care, and until next time.
You need like a wig or something when you put the old Don wig on and hold that up.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in November.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, y'all take care, man. All right.
See you guys.
All right,
All right, guys. Thanks, man.
All right.